Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. After the passage of nearly 2 decades, Charles Band, and what he now referred to as Full Moon Features, would produce a sequel to one of the studio's classics, Demonic Toys. Though that's not to say that there weren't any other films in the series. In '93, Band produced a Dollman vs. Demonic Toys movie, and Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys in 2004. While the first film merged 3 movies into one universe, Charles Band overtly stated that the second one was not to be considered canon. After all, these are very profound, deep storylines, and you just can't screw with the rules and makeup of the universe. I mean, people expect believability out of their killer doll movies. And with that, we come to Demonic Toys 2. Considered the only true sequel out of the bunch, Demonic Toys 2 still bears little resemblance to its predecessor, with occult overtones and no relation to the characters or events of the original, though the toys from it are back for another go. And I'm sure that's all anybody would have asked from a Demonic Toys sequel, so, with that in mind, let's wind up this machine and see what it does for us. The movie is nice enough to explain to us right away just how all the toys that were clearly destroyed in the previous film are now suddenly not. Someone gathered up the pieces and stitched them back together. Who? How? Why? All these are very good questions, and they shall remain just that. After this, we begin our quick-fire character introductions as we see Caitlin, played by Ali Kinzel, and Mr. Butterfield, played by Leslie Jordan.
It shouldn't be much longer, Mr. Butterfield.
See? It's gonna rain.
Caitlin we can immediately pick out as one of the survivors, and a character we're supposed to be able to identify with, as she is written to be so normal she lacks any character whatsoever outside of some very Mary Sue qualities. Mr. Butterfield, on the other hand, based on the forced accent, is either supposed to be an evangelist or gay.
What kind of a person schedules a meeting out here in the middle of nowhere? 7 miles from where Christ lost his shoes.
Immediately, we then meet all the other characters of this story. Dr. Lorca, a collector of antique toys, Laureline, his 20-something limited edition gold digger, Eric, the cowboy manservant, that didn't sound right, David, his stepson, and finally, Lilith, the travel-sized psychic assistant.
Oh, horseshit. Be careful, you idiot!
I'm sorry, Dr. Lorca, I got it, sir, don't worry.
And of course, the demonic toys, which he brought along because, well, how else are they supposed to get to Italy?
Many of these pieces are priceless and mustn't be left alone for even an instant.
So it's much better for me to leave them in a crate, unlocked in an unguarded room, than have them in some stupid vault or something.
If you only knew the lengths to which my rivals have gone to outdo me in the past.
What they have told the makeup department to do to me. Yeah, his scars, they're completely explained in the Full Moon movie Hideous. Of course, in this movie, they don't even show us a clip from that movie to try and give us any hint as to what the fuck caused it. Hooray for character development! With that out of the way, they enter the ancient Italian castle, and Caitlin introduces our supernatural character not even 10 minutes into the movie.
The locals say the castle sits on the ancient temple of Jupiter, once ruled by an empress who used to practice black magic.
That's her.
Oh my god, how did you know that? It's labeled Empress of Black Magic. Oh yeah.
Take me to the piece.
What?
Take me to the piece.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Peace, 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 peace.
Never mind! As they go further in, Caitlin chats it up with David until Laureline calls her out on being an obvious Mary Sue.
I'm sorry for saying so, kitten, but aren't you a little young to be handling all of this on your own? Actually, Miss Dane, I have a master's degree in ancient Roman artifacts and lore. I speak 8 languages, and I graduated at the head of my class.
Not only am I a bland, emotionless actress, but I'm a hardly written character to boot. But she finally shows Lorca the piss he wanted, and we get our new demonic toy for this movie.
This is Divoletto. It's hideous!
It's beautiful.
It's average!
Where did you say you found this?
He was buried under some stonework in the dungeon floor.
When I moused over the floor, it highlighted, so I right-clicked and boom, Divaletto. And it's a purple item, so it's gotta be good. Hell, that's a better explanation than this movie gives for how she found it. Pretty much because there is no explanation. But Eric rushes in with an emergency.
The cars are gone.
Where are they?
I came out to get the last of the crates, saw them both spinning out the driveway.
Are you telling me we've been carjacked by Italian villagers?
This can't be possible.
Really?
Well, if your cars were stolen in Italy, put two and two together. While they're concerned with that, Lilith sneaks some private time with Divaletto.
I can feel your energy. There's something more that motivates you, isn't there?
Oh god. Don't do it, Charles. No, not that! Oh, thank God. I was worried for a moment. Via her psychic touch, she senses the nondescript hell and death latent in the doll, but never mind that, everyone else is still more concerned about their missing cars.
I'll call the rental place, tell them what happened, maybe they can get us a car here tonight.
I'm afraid you're not gonna have much luck. It's late, everything's closed around here.
If you just need to go from point A to point B, you could call a taxi. It'd probably be a lot cheaper than renting a car.
Well, what are we going to do? Walk to Rome?
They said earlier they were 7 miles out of Rome. That's not too far to walk in case of emergency, or hell, call a cab from. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but couldn't they just magically lock the doors if they needed to keep them in that set so badly? Now that everyone is introduced and spending the night in the old creepy castle, Divaletto takes the opportunity to get some exercise, finding the crate with the original demonic toys and using his power to animate them. Thus confirming that, no, bringing the original toys along was not important to the plot whatsoever, making all the trouble they went through to bring them there all the more contrived.
Rise and shine, shithead!
Was that Baby Oopsie Daisy's voice?
Good job, Guido. I don't know where the hell you came from, but just remember, I'm in charge, and you won't get hurt.
She didn't have a great voice to begin with, but not only does this sound nothing like that, it's very grating. But while this is going on, Laureline changes into lingerie for the remainder of the movie, and reveals to the audience the depth of her character. She doesn't actually like Lorca! She just wants his money! Big surprise! And Brokeback Butler happens to be her bandit boyfriend, who intentionally misplaced the cars to keep them there overnight.
Left the keys in ignition. Doors unlocked, just like you said.
Oh, good boy.
You could have kept the keys on you. The cars may very well be stolen for real by the time you get back to them. Also, he intends to switch out Divaletto for a perfectly constructed forgery, which he must have made in the last 10 minutes as they never saw the original until then, and sell the real one for a massive profit.
Who says pretty boys are dumb?
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto, forgery, and artifact smuggling. Fucking brilliant! Next we see David. He clearly establishes he has no family, and therefore will easily survive this horror movie.
My dad was married to Laureline just before he passed away. His will stipulated that she got everything, including yours truly, so here I am.
You're like 25. Move the fuck out, dude. They talk a bit more, and we confirm that they are indeed love interests of this film, and both as bland as diet tofu.
I just thought this trip was too good of an opportunity to see the world, meet new people, like you.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
Hey, I was thinking we could maybe hold hands. Oh, this is so exciting. Lilith finally pops back up in the movie, telling Dr. Lorca she wishes to hold a seance to get to the bottom of these strange readings she's getting in the castle.
It seems to me there may be more here than the girl is letting on.
Without a doubt.
Maybe because she isn't psychic, and to her it really is just a big empty pile of rocks. They hold hands and part ways. Sweet Jesus, Lilith, have you ever heard of spoiler warnings? But Eric has finally slipped by, replacing the real Divaletto with his ridiculously accurate forgery, and then immediately losing track of the real thing. Hey!
Let me out of here!
You wanna try maybe using the handle, genius? Jack Attack does look pretty impressive here, to be honest, but the kill... The fuck was that? They drag his dead ass out shortly before Lilith shows up, but don't worry, despite her much better view of the floor, she doesn't notice the big puddle and trail of blood. She does notice something a bit off with the doll, however. Either that or the PCP is wearing off. Caitlin figures these sets are getting a bit boring and decides to take David and Mr. Butterfield for a tour of the place, which happens to take them into a torture chamber where she foreshadows in her normal, bland, emotionless tone.
This lovely contraption.
It's a lancet. It's used for bloodlettings. And they just didn't use good old-fashioned leeches. Draining your blood is one of the main methods of medicine back then. That and exorcism, of course.
There you are.
The Magic 8 brothel! What? Oh. Lorca kindly informs the others they're welcome to join the seance, whenever they decide to get around to it, but first has to ream his stepson out for talking to girl types.
Just do as I say and stay away from her. Or I promise you, you will pay in a most inconvenient fashion.
In cash. Exact change. That doesn't stop him from continuing to explore the castle with her, however, as they find stairs leading deep in the castle.
Case.
Ooh, wonder where it leads.
I don't know.
She doesn't know something? She has all these esoteric bits of knowledge, and there's a stairwell in this building that she's supposedly very familiar with, and she doesn't know where it goes. Mr. Butterfield has decided he's had enough, though, and sits this one out.
You kids keep your hands to yourself!
As if there's any doubt that these walking low-sodium rice cakes will be able to resist temptation. For some reason at this point, Lilith decides to start the seance alone, but things don't take long before they turn sour. How many times do I have to tell them you should always keep some charged salt on hand, just in case some wicked spiritual shit goes down? But do they listen to me? No! Anyway, we get to see Mr. Butterfield heading to bed, and showing off the fact that he's obviously going to be killed off as he proceeds to steal everything he can find.
This could be worth it.
Pretty sure the value just went down a couple nuts. Our innocent explorers run into trouble when they're attacked by an army of CGI bats, but never fear, for they've discovered something.
It's a natural cavern.
No shit, it's been a natural cavern for about 100 feet. They find something else of interest, however.
Prodigium Abyssis. It's a portal to hell.
Wow, that's a very nice feature that any Terraria player should incorporate into their home. A Hellevator.
That's where I found Divaletto. There's where I dug him up.
What?
That's where I found Divaletto. There's where I dug him up.
The fuck you mean that's where you found Divaletto? What about under the floor tiles like you said before? And didn't you say that you didn't know where their stairs went? How did you not know if you'd been down there the only way down here? And how did you not notice the Hellevator 5 feet away? Not only that, there's shit all over the place that apparently, last time, she just didn't fucking notice. Especially considering any one of these items looks infinitely more interesting than a wooden cloth doll. More important than that, though, is Mr. Butterfield, whom, now dressed in stolen pajamas, notices the demonic toy's presence.
Who's there?
Are you at least going to try to escape? Or try anything besides hiding underneath the covers? Now that two people are dead, I'm sure you're wondering just how long it'll be before somebody notices. So am I. Hell, even when they finally begin the seance, with everybody this time, they still only set up 4 chairs, despite the fact that only one member of their party said they weren't interested in joining. The other 2 are dead. As they begin, Lilith is obviously not herself, but nobody seems to mind too much, as she screams until she faints.
Well.
And then there's this part. All I can tell you is, it's extremely hard to make out just what the fuck she's supposed to be saying.
From within the walls of my body
Then, somehow, a record player starts itself, and Lilith begins table dancing for the group, which Lorca appears to greatly enjoy. She collapses, and then they figure out that maybe she's not doing so hot, but there are more pressing matters at hand.
That doll is a replica.
What?
That's not possible.
Sure it is!
Ah! Oh god! The CGI knife got stage blood on my hand! As the other toys come out to attack, Caitlin and Lorca subdue the situation, and the group escapes. While all this is going on, Loreline decides to finally get off her ass and look for Eric, and finds a clue in the dining room.
Hope this is not Chris's blood.
But never mind that, she has found something much more important than her boyfriend's corpse. Yeah, don't be subtle or anything. I'm sure when everyone finds you screaming and stuffing gems into your see-through clothing, they won't suspect a thing. However, there is one box there that she can't quite open, and in her feverish greed, she must know what's inside. Ugh! She is Lorca's fiancée. That was part of his collection. She should be able to recognize it! Ow. As everyone flees, Lorca holds everyone up, refusing to let anyone leave without the doll.
That is, after we figure out if it was you who tried to switch the dolls in the first place.
How dare you replace my murderous trinkets with pacifist forgeries! David comes to the rescue, and they escape down the hall, running into Loreline, who easily steals the gun, and blames Caitlin for everything, before David kills her off in an uneventful struggle, leading to the group being chased down by Lorco, who is wielding an axe and making noises even less coherent than Lilith's seance. He dies, just as Lilith prophesied, with clips from this movie, and everyone else rushes back into the cave to escape, because, of course, it's always the best strategy to back yourself into a corner in a horror movie.
Let's keep moving.
Without fail, the toys find them immediately, and it is revealed that Lilith is in fact still possessed by the spirit of Fiora, who uses her power to beat up the little wooden doll, but David steals her kill with his shovel of doom. And as it turns out, Divaletto was inhabited by the exorcised spirit of a demon! But really now, isn't every toy? Do you have any idea how many children's souls it takes to make a good PlayStation game? So how does the demon of this film look then? Relatively impressive! David takes the other toys out with his shovel of doom, while El Diablo yanks the spirit of Fiora out of Lilith, dragging it down to hell with him. Then why was Fiora beating the crap out of the doll if breaking it would release the demon and curse her soul to hell? That leaves Lilith and the two who obviously were going to live, as they pack a few evil spirits with them, as well as the pieces of the demonic toys, showing that they clearly learned fuck all from this experience. Oh no! Another demon broke free! The toys will be possessed again! How will they deal with the... who gives a shit? That was demonic toys too, and I'm pretty disappointed in it. The first movie wasn't spectacular, but that's kind of why this felt like such a letdown to me, as there was obviously room to improve, but instead we seem to have taken a few steps backward in the quality department. The plot is all over the place. Yes, there were several movies that took place between the two Demonic Toys films, including one that clearly explains where Dr. Lorca got his scars, but still, despite the fact that Divoletto clearly animated the toys, he ends up taking orders from them for most of the movie, and killing off all the side characters when the Sola Fiora really should have been the only target. And while we're on the subject of characters, the handful of annoying jackasses they put together for this film is just sad and completely lacking in believability. Whether it be far too sinister or far too kind, everyone's playing a plot piece instead of a person. There are several good points to this movie, though, as the setting and style direction do complement each other well, with Jack Attack's redesign looking beautiful, and while Baby Oopsie Daisy's redesign isn't as well pulled off, it's not entirely offensive. The climax also fixes the problem of the last film, and does actually feel like a big finish to the events leading up to it. At the end of the day, Demonic Toys 2 wasn't as entertaining all around as the original, but it's not terrible. Fans of the genre and series will find things to enjoy this one, despite its shortcomings, earning it 2 Divolettos out of 5. And honestly, after finding out all the other movies in this series that I missed, I'm rather interested in tracking them down and finding out just how they compare to the two I know. That is to say, I don't own them. Yet. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado, and remember, always build your elevator with a water landing at least 4 tiles deep.
He's sleeping with my stepmother. They think that I don't know.
Some girls have all the luck.